Hello everybody, if anybody's there, welcome to today here in the studio. Getting ready to get some stuff set up today. Gonna get some drums set up. The plan is I'm gonna set the drums up right here. Kind of probably this way, facing this direction. All my rack gear's over here, so I'm gonna run the snake around over here. And then I'll probably set up guitar amps either by the power supply over here or run them back over here. I haven't quite decided yet, but what you're gonna see me kind of coming in and out throughout the studio, in and off screen while I'm grabbing gear and pulling the drums in from the other room. From time to time, I'm gonna come down here and check out and see what all is going on. If you've got any viewers in here, if you'll have any chats, anything you want to say, anything in the comments. We check in every once in a while. Anyway, yeah, let's get these drums set up. Got a pillow inside the kick drum. That's why I was like tipping it up on the end like that to try to get it up against that back resonant head, so it'll kind of just deaden that head a little bit whenever I hit the kick. Makes it so you don't have quite much of that like slap that on the back from that resonant head whenever you have it muffled a little bit from the inside. Kind of trying to get an idea of where I want this to be set up. I'm trying to leave a little space too, because I'm thinking I'm probably going to have some friends come over and jam with me sometime. I got another buddy of mine that's a drummer, and we've been thinking about getting together and doing a little drum jam off, and so I kind of want to make sure I have some space on that side for him to bring a drum kit down here and set up if he wants. So I think that this is going to kind of be where I want my throne to be. Also, it won't leave a lot of space behind for the dogs to run, which is good, because when I had it set up before, I had it kind of out more where you see the kick now, and the dogs would like run around behind and play, and I had a lot of cables and stuff strewn over here, and I don't really like the dogs running around the back side of that stuff too much, just because, you know, there's stuff that could fall over sometimes, and I don't want them to get hurt, and I don't want my gear to get hurt, and yeah. So let's see here. Probably gonna stay right about there. Be right back. I'm gonna go grab the kick pedal and some toms, maybe. What else do I want to grab while I'm in here? Got a snare in there already. I'll just do this for now. Just take it a little piece at a time. Go ahead and bring snare stand in. Might be there. think that throne might be a little bit too low for my preference, but let's see. Go ahead and bring the cymbal bag in. A lot of cymbals in here. Kind of getting to where I feel like this bag might be on its last leg. It's probably not meant to hold this many cymbals, but it's doing all right. Whew, that's a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's probably 15 cymbals in here. Let's go. I'm gonna go with the 14-inch K-hats. Some of my favorites. I've got the 13s and the 14s. I had the 13s for probably like 8 or 9 years, maybe. And then I bought some 14-inch K-hats off of a friend about a year ago, and was pretty surprised at the difference in the sound of them. And honestly, I think I really like the 14s better than the 13s. Hopefully this mic's sounding all right. Not getting too, hopefully it's not getting too much brush from the beard. Have to do something about that if it is. Y'all let me know if it's getting brushy. I know the audio quality's not the best right now. Still kind of working on figuring out how to get that better, but we'll get there a little bit at a time. One stream at a time. Yeah, that throne's low. I feel like I got it lowered maybe. Okay, just raise it up. Let's see how that does. It's pretty good. Not liking the way that snare is sounding though, a little low. This is a Docket snare, stainless steel, I believe. I'm gonna do half turn on all these lugs, torque it up a bit. Get a nice high pop now. This is a beautiful snare. Just should be paid a pretty penny for it. All right, let's see how that does. Yeah, that's feeling good. All right. What do you say, puppies? We bring in some more stuff. I like to talk to my dogs a lot. You know, sometimes I like to talk to myself a lot too. That's okay. I think most people probably do. This is a Mapex kit. I believe it's birch. I don't remember. Let's see here. Go ahead and do 2 rack toms. See, I really like having space in the middle for my ride right here. So I think I'm actually gonna mount this tom on cymbal stand. I've got one more tom for this. I've got a smaller one, an 8-inch, but whenever I got the kit and I bought new heads, I forgot to buy a head for that tom, and I've honestly just been pretty lazy about getting the right size head for it. But it's okay, I don't know, I'm not usually a huge fan of the smaller toms. Anyway, I like the bigger, fatter sounds a lot of times. I mean, honestly, this kit's a little bit like, not even as low like sounding as my other kit. My other one's a Gretsch Catalina Club Mod. It's that African mahogany kit. And it's a pretty fat kit, but the problem with it is I always have a really hard time getting the resonance of the rack tom and the floor tom to match. Like, I swear it's impossible. And I think a lot of it has to do with the way that the mounting system works on the toms, because on the rack tom, it mounts on the lugs, but then like on the floor tom like this here, you can see how the legs are like in the middle of the tom, or the shell itself. And so being there, it kind of kills some of the resonance of that shell that doesn't get killed by a lug mount system because it just grabs onto the lugs. This one actually, it doesn't. This one's a lug mount system too. And so I think that's why that I have not been able to get the resonance of the toms to match on my other kit, which is one of the reasons that I got this one, because it's easier to get them to match up, and I don't know, I like the sound of these quite a bit actually. I've only really started learning how to tune drums well in this last year, so it's still kind of something I'm working on. Also, these are not exactly high-end kits. I think I paid $400 for this kit last year, and it had 4 toms, a kick, and a snare. So, I mean, just in general, the drums aren't like the best made. And so it's going to make it a little bit more difficult to get stuff to sound good, because it's not as good of a kit, but eventually I'm hoping to get something better. Probably end up spending like a couple $1,000s on a shell kit for, I don't know, there's this Battlefield drums kit that I've seen online for years that I've always wanted. It's so pretty. I don't really know how it sounds, which I really want to think about and really make a priority when my next kit is sound over looks. If you can get both great sound and great looks, awesome. But I think sound is going to be a priority on my next kit. But anyway, that Battlefield drums kit, it's got this like red wine finish and wooden, like these really like deep wooden hoops on the side. So like if this was the drum, can y'all see that? So if this is the whole drum, it would be like the wooden hoops would be like right here and right there. And so, man, it's just really pretty. If you go check it out and dig through their website, Battlefield drums. All right, getting there. And if you all will please go, just give me a few minutes. I'm gonna go upstairs and use the restroom real quick. All right, I'm back. Little shameless plug, see down here in the corner. This right here, out now. This right here, Fall Away. It's a single I wrote with a friend of mine, Hillary Case. Recorded in the studio right here over a span of about a year off and on. And it's fun to get to put that out end of last year. And check that out on iTunes, Spotify, wherever you get music. It's called Fall Away. And if you do end up checking it out, I'd love to know what you think. If it's something that speaks to you, kind of the idea behind it was, you know, I like write a lot of sad songs and a lot of kind of depressing stuff, kind of just based on like stuff that I've been through in life. Very emotional, whatever. Well, I kind of want to write more like upbeat, happy songs, and just because I haven't really done that a whole lot, and so Fall Away was kind of this like try at doing that a little bit and trying to have a positive outlook on different situations. And the song itself actually wasn't written about anybody specifically. It was just kind of something I wrote off of an imagined scenario, but at the same time, like a kind of part of the hope with it was that it would be some sort of a, like, I guess, it sounds cheesy maybe, but an anthem kind of, where people can have something that you can think about and go, you know what, in the midst of like everything that might be going bad, that there's still good things on the horizon. And sometimes you just got to let all that old shit fall away. Because, you know, every day is a brand new day and a chance to kind of start over and do it again. And, you know, if yesterday or last week wasn't great, you can let that shit fall away. And it's kind of what I think about whenever I listen to Fall Away and whenever I sing it. All right, I think I'm just gonna put like 2 cymbals up. No, I'm just gonna do one right now. I'm just gonna do, which I already actually have the stand for, so I'm just gonna put this back here, not even gonna set that up. I'm gonna go the Meinl Bison's 21-inch medium crash, and that will be what I'm going to use as a ride for the time being as well. And I can already tell the position of this is not going to work because this cymbal is way too far away from where I'm sitting. I wonder how that feels. Getting there. Come in a little bit. I want you to tilt. Just a smidge. Just a skosh. All right, let's have a listen. Or I guess more of like, let's have a play.
I got to admit, I'm pretty rusty at drums right now. It's been a while since I've really sat down and practiced well, but I kind of want to start doing it again. So part of the idea with this live streaming is I figure that if I'm doing it, I kind of, like if I'm doing the stream stuff, people might be watching, so I actually have to do the stuff. Oh, that's too high up. Let's go 2 spins down. 1, 2. Let's try that. And the puppies are playing. Yes, puppies! Got 2 puppies here. This little one over here is Sai. He's just about 16 months old. I have had him for a little over a year. And this bigger one over here, this little older one, a little darker one is Gwen. And I've had her for almost 4 years. May will be 4 years. And I think she's probably about 5.5 or 6 years old. 5, something like that. Some pretty great dogs. If you don't have dogs, I highly recommend it. I've always been a dog person. When I was a kid, I used to love to pretend that I was a dog all the time. It was my favorite thing to play. I would crawl around for hours doing that stuff, pretending I was a dog. At least I feel like it was probably hours. Who knows? Kind of keep track of time very well. You don't keep track of time very well when you're a kid. All right, happy with that drum setup for now. That'll give me something I can practice with, which is the main plan. All right, now guitar amp. So we got a Vox AC10 that I got last year And man, this amp sounds so good. And then I've got a Fender Telecaster. A friend of mine has let me use for long term. Very thankful for that. Thanks, Josh. That felt great. Okay. See the amp I got here. Vox AC10. I'm gonna. This is where I had the amp set up before. See, the idea is I've got this desk here, which you can kind of see, and it raises and lowers electronically. And so this is kind of like the command center right in here. And then the idea is that I try to set stuff up to where I can view my computer screen from across the room if I'm at the drums, and I use a wireless mouse and a wireless keyboard to control the computer. And then I just zoom on the screen, zoom in to be able to see from further distance. But I'm thinking about taking the long table, this table right here, taking this and maybe putting it like right here somewhere, and putting my TV up down here, and then hooking my computer into that as a secondary monitor, so I have like big screen for when I'm on the drums or doing stuff over here, and then when it's time to mix, I can come over here to the computer, do all that stuff right here. All right. Hear him shake. His ears hit the side of his head whenever he shakes. It's kind of funny. Now I just gotta find a power strip. So, oh, here we go. Perfect. Find a power strip so I can split out power. Wow, got it. And I've got a few different pedals here that I can use, but unfortunately the power supply that I have for them is noisy because they don't all have isolated power. And I'd like to get one of those power supplies, but they're like a couple $100, and every piece of gear is like a couple $100 or a couple $1,000, and it all adds up real fast. And so I spent years and years trying to get all this gear, and it's like I've got a lot and it's great, but man, I still feel like I have so far to go before I actually like have a really, really solid setup. It's expensive, y'all. Very expensive, but it's fun. And I'm thankful that I get to do it at some level, even though it's not the same level a lot of people do. It's a lot higher than a lot of people get to do as well. So, you know, life's a lot about perspective and being thankful for the things you have, I feel like. And I'm definitely thankful for what I have. As soon as I put the guitar on, Gwen walked away, and she's about to walk upstairs. There's been a couple of times where I've accidentally had some feedback down here from like the bass amp or the guitar amp or different things. It's really loud, and she does not like loud sounds or loud bangs typically. Just surprising that she likes the drums. So I've got one of those chord tuner pedals. I forget what the model is, but I really like the pedal. And then I'm running from there into a Strymon El Capistan tape delay, or sorry, tape echo. And then from there into the Vox AC10. Listen to this sound combo, it's so pretty. Let's see here. All right, that was fun. Okay, microphone. So, mic setup. I think what I'm gonna do is, so I've got these drum mics. Shure SM57s, and that's what I'm gonna be running on the drums for now. I've got a couple Shure SM7Bs that I use for podcasting stuff, I use for vocals typically, and sometimes I like to use it as a snare mic. Here's one that I've got right here. This right here, Shure SM7B. Great microphone. If you end up getting one though, they have pretty low gain output, so I recommend using a cloud lifter with it. It just helps like increase the gain out of it. Really great mic. Can't say enough good about them. One of the things that I try to do when I'm putting the mics on is to be pretty specific with the direction that I'm pointing them. And so I want it to get where it's mostly just facing that drum, meaning that like I don't want to put a tom mic over here because it's also facing towards like that tom and the snare and the kick. And so I really want to put it here so that it's only getting this for the most part. And so then I would like do the same thing over here. I would put it like over here probably on this tom. On this tom here, I would put it probably right around in here. Snare would be right over in here. And that's a lot of the reason why. It's just kind of like, all right, well, obviously there are a lot of like drums over here in this area. I don't know, can you see that? Let me go around this side and show you. Okay, so you have like, if the mic is here, as it comes through, think of a line like where it's coming through, like it's not really hitting a whole lot versus if it was here, it's also going to be facing towards the snare. Here it's going to be facing towards the hi-hats. As you get around here, it's going to be facing towards the cymbals over here and these toms. And so really, you've got like that position right there to put it. Same thing with the snare coming back through here. You can kind of, that's why you kind of want to put it over in this area here. And it's not, I mean, you could do it here, but it's just a pain in the ass to get the mic over in this position usually. It's kind of in the way. Actually, looks like I will be probably using an SM7B on the snare because I've only got 3 SM57s and each of them is going to be going on one of the toms. So I've got this Shure drum mic kit pack thing. It's got 3 Shure SM57s. It's got 1 Shure Beta 52A kick mic. These are actually technically my dad's drum mics, but my dad doesn't play drums or really ever record them, and so I've kind of inherited them on a like, borrowed them on a, like a permanent basis, basically. If he ever needs them or wants them back, of course I'll give them back. But all that to say, I recommended he buy these whenever he bought them, but if I were to buy drum mics right now, I think I would probably, just from the stuff that I remember hearing, it's been a long time since I've tried any out and, you know, really looked at what's available, but I think I like the way the Audix were built and sounded the best. And so if I were to buy, just based off of my knowledge right now, if I was going to get drum mics, I would probably get Onyx. All right, got those in place. Now, grab a little shorty stand for the kick mic. Look at that, already have 17 on a stand. All over this rug. I can just kind of scrape my foot like this on it, and it just comes right up. Look at that. Crazy. So much. Oh, whatever. At some point I'll vacuum this stuff up, but I mean, man, this stuff just piled up in the first like few days I was down here. I had the rug down here, so like, I guess it's stuck in there. Otherwise, I'm gonna want to do all of it right now. All right, next, let's pull overheads. We got a pair of Mass Road NT5s, I believe. So these overheads, also inherited from my father. Yeah, Rode NT5s. Mostly the overheads to grab a lot of cymbal stuff, but also just kind of the higher frequencies of the other drums in general too, to help provide that like good stereo imaging. And so I think of miking drones where I see the snare as the center point, and So for this, I think what I'm going to do for this is I'm just going to specifically mic, because I've only got this cymbal and the hi-hats, and so I'm just going to mic for those two right now, where usually I would have like another cymbal here and one or two, maybe three cymbals on the other side, and so I would have the mic kind of like overhead trying to catch both of them. Let's do this. I'll put this one right in here. Let's get this other one set up. But with this still, I will measure and make sure that my distance to snare is equal, because it's still, the mic's still gonna pick up the other drums. Like, there's no way around that. You can do some low pass filter to get a lot of it out, but it's still gonna pick up some of the other stuff, especially that high crack of the snare. So, like I said, I wanna make sure that it's right, dead smack in the middle, equidistant between these overhead mics. Just broke a fingernail, which sucks. I use those for finger picking. Thank you very much. Every once in a while I'll break one. See if you can see, you can kind of see the edge of it there. You can see that right on the inside there. It's broken. It'll grow back, whatever. Always does. Just grab any roll of string you got around. I've got some, this is here. I'm gonna use that. All right. I can already tell this is going to be interesting. Because that's so far away from there. It's going to be challenging to get it equidistant. So, man, I really want that to be equidistant though. So I'm going to pull this out because I can already tell they're going to be off a little. And then let's move this one in like that. Got them pointing straight down. All right, so then pull this here. Pull, tight is just kind of hitting the hi-hat, so it's not exactly, okay. Oh, see how off that is there? So, what do I want to do here? Man, this is stumping me right now. Okay, so I'm going to try to move to where the cymbal comes closer in. It's closer here, which means that I can then move my microphone in a little bit more. I gotta finesse this to get my tom where I want it to be. Okay, I don't think that's gonna be right, but let's just take a measurement and see how it adds lines up. Oh, like an inch difference. So I'm going to, shit, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna lower this one just a hair. Let's do that. Oh, it's close. So I can take this back just a hair. And now it is equidistant, but it's kind of, this one is pointing right to right here, and this one's pointing down to right about here. So, I wonder if I swing it out here, how much that's gonna change it. And I'm also gotta be careful I don't hit here, so it's gonna be likely to wanna hit that, I feel like. The stick. Yeah. So, go up a little bit here. You know, I've always kind of, I've done it where I move. Can actually get a little further, sweet. There we go. Where they're not the same level, and I don't know actually if that matters. I feel like it might a little bit. So that's something I need to look into. If you have any insight or input into that, I'd love to know if you have the answer for that. Tell me, please. And the last thing for tonight is setting the mic up here. I don't have another microphone to use though, so I'm just gonna not have one, but I'll have this stand in place, and whenever I track guitars, I'll just take one of the SM57s and or the SM7B off of the drums and move them over to the guitar amp. I use a lot of the same mics to kind of just like mix them around because I don't have enough to have dedicated drum mics and then mics for other stuff. Anyway, y'all, that's all for today's live stream. Thanks so much for checking it out. Hopefully you enjoyed it. You got some stuff out of it. Gonna try to start doing this stuff a little bit more if there's anything in particular you'd like to see or learn. I definitely don't know everything about this. I still have a whole lot to learn, but over the years of just kind of like taking little bits of information from people, I've been able to learn a decent amount, and that's how I continue to learn, and I feel like that's how we all kind of learn. It's just like little bits of information over long periods of time that just kind of like add together to make this collective knowledge. Anyway, thanks so much. Have a good one.